One of the most important things that you folks can see today while you're here at the Getty is the Hippolyte Bayard, A Persistent Pioneer exhibition. And there's an incredible book that we have in the gift shop that's been put together across many years. It's one of the best books on the topic. Now this is a facsimile because again, it predates the ability to fix an image. Wedgwood was printing on white leather treated with silver nitrate. He was not able to make a permanent image. He was trying. By 1826, Niepce made a view from the window at Le Bois, which is the piece that you can see at the University of Texas. It is the first permanent photograph. It's a very special thing. Hyposulfite of soda. Hyposulfite of soda was found to be able to make soluble, otherwise insoluble silver salts. What does that mean? It means dissolve it away. In reality, the first signs that we can find that demonstrate human beings observing the principles of light and shadow and projection date all the way back to the cavemen. We have actual literal examples of cave paintings on walls that show drawings and petroglyphs that appear to show what it looks like when something is projected onto uneven surfaces. But if we go back about 3,500 years or so, we get to the philosopher Mosey. And then shortly after that, the philosopher who usually more people know about, Aristotle. These folks made some of the first observations of light and shadow and projection. Mosey and Aristotle used early primitive camera obscuras to make observations of solar eclipses, like what just passed on April 8th. And he inadvertently put his nitric acid into a bottle that had the residues of silver shavings. So when the nitric acid was introduced to that bottle, it reacted with the silver and it created silver nitrate. And he didn't realize that. So then he mixed it with his chalk that he was trying to make the glow-in-the-dark things. And he realized that when he left it in a window or he left it outside, the chalk turned to a violet color. These are examples of the Bayard direct positive process. These are examples showing some of the different colors that result from different chemical treatments of the paper. So this is how the process works. When I do these types of demonstrations with the actual chemistry, I would do this here live with the actual chemicals, but we don't have those today. So this is a facsimile to show how the process itself works. What is that, June of 1839, when he shows this work in public for the first time. And that was critical, because that, in the public eye, foments Bayard as the French alternative to Daguerre. The earliest cameras themselves are actually a little bit more similar to these, which are modeled after William Henry Fox Talbot's mousetrap cameras, which he was developing at the same time. That's the point of this whole story. We ask about what are the origins of photography? Who is the inventor of photography? There is no one singular inventor of photography. Photography is a collective effort that was developed over hundreds of years, and again, you could make the argument that it dates back even thousands of years. An important element of what's happening here is understanding that this time period, what we consider the real apex of the origins of photography, involves the development of several different processes. The key to photography is in a recorded image on paper. And the reason why that's important is because it's much easier to spread that around when you can make an image on paper. So, Bayard, from the start, was working on paper processes. Talbot was working in his paper processes. The origins of a technology that has entirely changed the world. When you think about that, every photograph you've ever seen, and all of the effects of every photograph you've ever seen. Early 19th century, Louis Hine and his photographs of children laborers. The entire reason we have child labor laws today are because of photographs showing people what was happening. Every movie, every television show, every documentary, every single thing you've ever seen on a screen is photography. You can look out anywhere where there's light, and if you point it that way, and you look in, basically point your eye toward the inside of the back wall there, and you'll see an image forming. This is a heliotype, not much of an image there, because this is primitive. This is like the caveman of photography. So this is made using a material called bitumen of Judea, which is asphalt derived from the Dead Sea, mixed with lavender oil. And that lavender oil is then allowed to settle over a period of days. And then the solution is siphoned off of the top. But it's the earliest known example of a permanent photograph, the oldest example of a permanent photograph, and it is a heliotype.